What no one warns you about when you start taking life seriously. Taking life seriously costs you things, and no one talks about that part. You will feel very lonely before you feel successful. Guys, when you're on this path, you gotta think you're doing the extraordinary. So, ordinary people are not gonna be with you, unfortunately. Shit's gonna get lonely before it gets bad. When you're growing, you separate from a lot of people. Few people relate to your routine. All circles start to feel a bit uncomfortable. Alignment feels like isolation at first. Guys, it's gonna be lonely. It's gonna be shit before it gets good. And that's just normal and we need to get used to that. Motivation fades, discipline takes over. Everything starts to feel less exciting, guys. Less hype, more X. It's just the boring things, No more emotional highs, no more roller coasters and dramas on the weekends. You're not in the mix no more. You're doing your own thing. Real progress most of the time is quiet and is done in solitude. Like most of the time when someone levels up or you see some guy and you've not seen him for ages and he comes back jacked or he comes back with a nice car, it's because you haven't seen him for ages because he's done all the groundwork by himself, right? So like you need to think of that as well, guys. Like solitude is gonna be the way. And motivation goes, man. It's just pure discipline. It's boring stuff, sexy results. And then you're gonna see how much time you used to waste. Old habits are gonna feel embarrassing. You're gonna look back on your old life and be like, fucking hell, I actually do that stuff. I feel embarrassed of myself. Regrets are gonna surface. You're gonna regret doing a lot of things that you've done. But this is signs that you're moving forward and this is progress, guys. So like don't dwell on it too much. But it's natural, like even me at the stage I'm in my life, of course I look back on things in my early 20s and regret. I regret a lot of things. But it made me who I am today, so we can't regret too much. But clarity can sting before it actually frees you. People are not gonna understand you. They're gonna misunderstand you, and it's fucking okay, right? Solid truth, guys. Growth isn't celebrated by everyone. It's a peak time. When you start leveling up and you raise your standards and you start doing things differently, people are not gonna understand you. Like, bro, don't expect the ordinary to understand the extraordinary. Like, it doesn't work like that, So like, when you start to get misunderstood, that means you're on the right path. Fucking keep going. You're doing the right thing. Honestly, keep on going. When no one understands you, well done, honestly. Keep my voice in your head. When someone asks you a question or when you get asked, oh, why are you doing this or why are you doing that? When really people literally misunderstand you, think of Danish's voice on YouTube and be like, shit, you know what, I'm on the right path. So honestly, that's the time to get happy. Don't get upset. That's the time to be proud of yourself. Getting called obsessed or extreme, normal. You're going to have pressure to go back to your old ways, normal. Silent resistance, normal. Unfortunately, guys, not everyone's going to clap, man. When you raise your standards, a lot of people that are not going to feel comfortable because they're doing the same old shit and they want you to do the same old shit, but you're not doing the same old shit anymore. So don't get disheartened by this. This is normal. But this is something people also don't tell you when you try to level up your life. But the one thing you will have is peace. The peace will replace the chaos. Bro, you're not in the mix no more. You're not a drama with Stacey on the weekend anymore. You're not in the clubs every weekend. You're not drinking like a degenerate. A majority of the time when people drink, they lose half the brain cells. The next thing you know, you're arguing with your friend. The next day you're going to be fine, but this cuts all the drama. Like, you're at peace, fewer options, more clarity, less anxiety. You're going to have that quiet confidence as well. And yeah, man, like, you're out of the mix now, bro. Like, you're literally leveling up. So all these dramatized things, they're not going to bother you no more. They're not even going to be in your life anymore. So that's a bonus. And discipline doesn't make life heavy. It makes it more calm. And guys, I hate to break it to you. Taking life more seriously doesn't give you more excitement. It gives you direction, peace, and self-respect. And once you feel that, you don't even want to go back to that old shitty life. Boys, if you learned something, you know what to do. Like, share, and sub for your boy. I'll catch you in the next one.